life. A simply amazing phenomenon that we as humans have the luxury of experiencing. In this episode, we find ourselves in the depths of a land previously undiscovered. Its primitive ways left to fester in the intense climate of Rugby. Far from civilization, this is a region once thought hostile and inaccessible. Its vast tarmac plains and towering spires, a challenge for even our obviously experienced camera crew. Very little can survive in this wilderness. It is a life unrecognisable from that of acceptable society. Any creature that does brave this environment is basic, with very little comprehension of social behaviour or etiquette. Its values and attitudes lost in a sea of immaturity and what is known to locals as banter. Today, we find ourselves at Lawrence Sheriff Sixth Form. It's early morning. The creatures of this strange land have begun to stir, and the sound of tired young men can be heard. This is a slow time of day, with little to do but linger outside the territory of one's superiors. These primates show clear hierarchy behaviour, with the dominant few reigning over the minions of adolescence in true North Korean style. And sure enough, they appear, two at once, hastily leaving the comfort of their chamber. Typical of many days, the male creature can be seen to be wearing blue, a clear sign of his authority. The female attempts camouflage, with the skirts resembling that of a zebra. Unfortunately for her, there are no zebras in this habitat. These two are closely followed by another. She shows clear signs of distress as she places her bags down. Grief has overwhelmed this creature since she was cruelly separated from her illicit partner, known as the foyer board. Though rare in this society, monogamy is still present, and it is likely that for this creature, she will not find another mate that is quite so attractive. The fourth to appear is a lonesome creature. He has mastered the art of short shorts, and uses this to scare off his fellow colleagues. He can often be seen on the lookout, keeping a close eye on his group of prefects, ensuring they are, quote, the eyes and ears of the teachers. Flanking close behind are two peculiar creatures. On the right is a seven. Independent as he may seem now, he is more often seen as a pair, both of whom are equally skilled in the gaming world of Pokemon, and use this to reel in the babes. Last but not least is this creature. She wanders the corridor with a motherly demeanour, ensuring that none of the boys are misbehaving. As sweet as she may seem, her innocent exterior can change in an instant if you dare to cross her. As the day progresses, life in this region begins to flourish. The midday sun encourages these restless souls to emerge from the depths in order to integrate and socialise. Within this large community, distinct micro-circles begin to form, in which these creatures have been seen to associate with friends. This is impressive for such organisms. To their disadvantage, many of them are rendered socially inept, incapable of forming bonds with one another due to their lack of social skills. As a result, these friendships are often forged out of adversity, an inspiring, if not saddening, course of events for these creatures. Some, however, are better adapted than others. These are creatures with higher thinking and reasoning skills. These intelligent life forms are rare, but do exist. This is a Shawley. Remarkably, he is one of the best examples of how appearances can be deceiving. Although he appears to be of substandard intelligence, with a haircut that resembles that of a Butch Clare Balding, this creature is one of the brightest of them all. Unlike many of his peers, he understands deeper philosophical meanings to life, and has been heard to state that although he may fail his exams, he passes the exam of life. As controversial as this statement may be, this creature is at the peak of his sociability, a feat that continues to astonish the science community internationally. Outside of their usual habitat, several of the species have gathered for a delightful game of basketball. Here they test their male egos to the extreme, with man-to-man combat in a fight to the death. From the sidelines, a weaker member of the pack looks on, feasting on a sandwich with greed. His fellow peers are far stronger than him, and he evidently feels very emasculated in the face of such physical activity. However, there may be a space for him on the team, as one of the players injures himself, the game too much for him to handle. But this brave warrior continues on, a true man. And here we have a wild ginger. This creature appears to be curiously exploring his surroundings, eager to discover more from the learning implements that surround him. This is a particularly calm side of this fascinating creature. In the peak of mating season, he is revitalized with stamina and invigoration. His mating rituals are quite unusual for what seems to be such a docile animal. He displays flesh willingly, shaking his body, engaged in a sensual dance to attract a mating partner. His efforts, however, are often futile, for this environment has a distinct lack of females to breed with. However, some females do manage to infiltrate the ranks. These are often vulnerable in a sea of testosterone and male overcompensation. This rare breed spend their days hunted by the male species, as seen here as this male attempts the age-old art of flirting. The female innocently obliges and laughs appropriately, a clear courtship display. Soon enough, the female leaves and the male is left alone. He has failed. In this bizarre community, there is a sense of pity for a fellow brother who lost his battle with the opposite sex. It's lunchtime. In the common room, a small group of 3 have met up to discuss updates to their social calendars. Interestingly, this group shows promising signs of primate development, with one of them even paying money in exchange for services, a skill that requires both a high level of brain functioning, high desperation, and low self-esteem. The 3 continue to talk avidly for a good 5 minutes, their attention span struggling to manage much more than this. Soon enough, the talk turns to golf management, and our crew become so bored they stop filming and went to find some more interesting subjects to record. Further along, a separate group is formed. In the centre, a timid young creature nibbles at his fingernails feebly. Beside him, the other members of the group discuss their workout regime in detail. One of them comments to the other, asking with sincerity, "Do you even lift, bro?" The other smiles at this comment and raises an arm as if to prove how hench he is. This gesture fails to impress his fellow friends. Interestingly, as we spend many months filming this rare species, several members begin to associate with our cameramen. They stare with bewildered eyes and even attempt to model for the camera. A stint on Britain's Next Top Model seems like a likely step for these fine figures of men. Before too long, however, one of them becomes spooked and flies off in a frenzied rage. Later on, this creature returns, eager for some more airtime. As we have seen, this is a complex community, full of strange and undesirable creatures. It seems that there is a long way to go before any form of developed life emerges, but the area shows promise. This area, previously believed to be a barren wasteland of lost souls and sad, pathetic shells of men, has been shown to be full of life and a hive of activity. For now, however, these creatures will migrate across the country, spreading their wings and starting their new lives. And there we have it, the legend of Lawrence Sheriff Sixth Form and its odd characters documented for years to come.